Welcome to Iron Keep. We've got a lot to talk about here, so let's get started. We're going to start with magic spells. Magic just unfortunately isn't very useful in Iron Keep. I'm going to bring Dark Fog, but we're only going to use it twice for the last couple of enemies before Iron King. It's not very important. And then we're going to bring Sacred Oath just because we have absolutely nothing better to do. Dark Weapon only has one use here, and that's for Iron King, and it's super unnecessary. Yearn is completely useless out here. And Homeward's also pretty useless. Though I am still going to bring it. I brought the Southern Ritual Brand so we can attune Homeward in our last spell slot, but that's just a precaution. We should never need it. Homeward here is a precaution against us making a terrible, terrible mistake and getting invaded by Dennis, which should never happen. But if it does, Homeward can save our life. After Sharron is gone, I'm going to drop the Southern Ritual Band and lose access to Homeward, because after Sharron is done, there is no homing out of Iron Keep. Let me repeat that very slowly and clearly. After Sharron is gone, there is no resetting Iron Keep. We only get one shot through here. It's Smelter or bust. If we get invaded by Forlorn, we're just going to have to deal with them. Because after Sharron is gone, if we reset the area, we'll have to deal with Dennis. And that's really, really bad. So, one shot, don't mess it up. Let's get to it. There's our TSR. We have the Stone Ring on. This is very important. Stone Ring goes on at the start of Iron Keep, and it does not come off except for bosses. It's absolutely essential for dealing with these knights. So we're going to run up and shoot the knight that comes charging across the bridge. Just double tap him with arrows, or you can use a one-handed rapier rolling attack, also effective, whatever you prefer. And now we need to talk about Sharron and Dennis. So there are two invaders here, and the trick to this is to guarantee we get Sharron without Dennis, triggering Dennis. So Sharron's invasion trigger is a little bit larger than Dennis's, and it completely surrounds Dennis's. That's really fortunate for us because it means we can guarantee we get invaded by Sharron and not Dennis. And after we get invaded by Sharron, we can then trigger Dennis's invasion, who can't invade because Sharron's invading, but that cancels out his trigger, so he can't invade again until after we reset the area or reload the save. So I'll post a detailed video in the description here. I have a video that goes through this all in detail. But the gist of it is, this dark spot is the landmark to remember. Sharron's trigger extends about one tile outside the dark spot. Dennis's trigger is inside the dark spot. So, let's see, we got our Stone Ring, we got Poisoner and Magic Arrows, we're ready to go. I'm gonna buff Oath just because, why not? Unnecessary, but doesn't hurt. And then we're gonna step into Sharron's trigger. Watch the H feather. There she invaded. After we see her, she's invading. Step into Dennis's trigger to deactivate his trigger. So now Dennis can't invade until we reset the area, and we're just fighting Sharron. We're going to kite her around this little staircase. I'm not sure who came up with this strat, but it's great. The staircase area is not recognized as traversable terrain. She has to go around it. She's not smart to go drop down into it, get closer to us faster. So we can kite her around it very effectively, and she's pretty dumb about it. And that makes her very easy. Just don't let her get too close, because her sword does have some weird range. Alright. Now that's done. We are done with Homeward. We did not get invaded by Dennis, so we don't need Homeward. We cannot reset this area again. Smelter or bust now. So let's get our rings in order. Let's get those lightning arrows back. Actually, let's do that. We mostly want lightning arrows here. Alright, now we need to talk about these first three enemies. The first three enemies in the entrance of Iron Keep here can be very tricky. I'm going to demonstrate the best strat we've got. It's not perfect, but it's the most consistent we have. So we'll go through the strat, and then we'll talk about what happened. We're going to open the door. An enemy's going to come charging at us. We're going to hide behind the pillar. Keep the pillar between us and the archer. Rapier at the ready, bow at the ready. I'm going to kind of stand a little far off the edge. We don't want to be right up next to him when he drops. We're going to wait for him to drop. Once he gets down here, double tap. That'll trigger a few more enemies. Hide behind the pillar between us and the archer. The other guy comes down the stairs, find the archer. There he is. He's kind of derping. We have time, so we could switch to the bow and shoot him here, or we can just wait till he switches to katana, drops down, then we take him with the rapier just like the first guy. Again, Stone Ring is essential here. So that's our strat, and that's the most consistent one we've got. There's a little tiny bit of RNG involved in how quickly the enemies show up. So depending on how it works out, the timing might be a little tight. They shoot this guy and then poke the archer. It should be fine. It shouldn't be close enough that you'll get killed by him, but you need to be careful sometimes. So let's talk about what we just did and why. We waited for the first enemy to drop down here. We need to attack him down here. We can't shoot him when he's up on that middle platform. If we do, then the archer will drop sooner, and then the timing with the guy coming around this corner can be really bad for us. It times out very poorly. But if we wait for him to drop and then poke him with the rapier, then this guy shows up much faster. We should have plenty of time to shoot him and then take out the archer. Now, I should also mention that an alternative strat could be to lure the guy out. The very first enemy, we can lure him out here, fight him alone, and then the other two enemies won't aggro. That sounds good on the surface, but it's actually pretty bad because we really want to lure them out of that area up there. Because otherwise, we can get kind of ambushed around this blind corner here. And also, just approaching the archer up here gets really nasty. It becomes very unpredictable. You have to slow walk to make sure you don't get heard. You have to, even if the first guy is in the right spot and you're able to just kind of step out and shoot him, then you have to wonder, did that aggro the archer? Did it not aggro the archer? Is the archer coming down the stairs at me? Did he drop down behind me and come behind? There's a lot of unpredictability. It can get messy. And if you don't get the easy kill on them, then you have to worry about where they are, because they're going to be wandering around up here semi-randomly. It's not fixed. So like they could be hiding around the corner. They could be back over there. Like going up these stairs is an absolute mess if you don't know exactly where the enemies are. We don't really have cover here. They can drop in behind us. They could drop over on the other side and come around from the other side. It's not fun. Like you can usually survive it, but in a marathon, for consistency, it's rough. You could also try to dark fog through the wall potentially, but that also has problems because again, you don't know where they are. You don't know if the fog worked. Every time you cast dark fog, you're gonna have to run away because you don't know if they're aggroed, if one of them is aggroed, if both of them are aggroed, if they're coming from this side, if they're coming from that side. There's a lot of unpredictability. So the strat we demonstrated where we lure them out is the most consistent we have. And it's not perfect because the timing can get a little close if your RNG is very bad, but it should still work. And that's the best we can do. Okay, moving on. Magerold. This is our friend Magerold, and this is where we cash in all of these spices. And this is really nice. This is going to save us a total of 10 levels, and we won't have to use the Ring of Prayer every time we want to cast Sacred Oath anymore. So we're going to start by spicing down Sacred Oath and Homeward. Use 17. And this will allow us to respec down to 16 faith. That'll save us 3 levels. We're also going to spice down int requirement on Dark Fog. Bring that down to 18. And the Yearn down to 18 as well. So now we can respec our int down by 7 levels, saving 10 total. I should mention we could also respec down even more and save another 10 levels, but then we have to equip the Ring of Prayer or Knowledge every time we want to cast a spell, and that's really annoying. So I don't recommend it. Cheers. Anyway, spices are great. That's going to save us a lot of levels, 10 levels total, and right now levels cost almost 40k. So 10 levels is that's at least 400k worth, and pretty soon it's gonna be at least $500,000 worth. Levels get really expensive really fast, starting near 200. So that really saves us a lot. It's very worth. Finally, we're gonna buy some green blossoms. We can also buy some pine resins, but we really don't need them. Oh, and fall control. Let's get that first, actually. This is more important. We're gonna use this in a lame Lois for a big fall, and you can find some other uses for it here and there as well. It has some utility. And we're gonna buy some green blossoms because this is the only place we can stock up on green blossoms. I'm gonna get at least 5. You can get more if you want, because again, we can't come back this way. We only get 1 shot through here. So if you want more green blossoms, buy them now. But I have 9. That should be plenty for the rest of the run. All right, we're done at Magerold. Moving on. The rest of Iron Keep is pretty simple and consistent as long as you know where the enemies are. We're going to begin by grabbing some fire arrows over here. We don't really need these, but we might as well. Can't really get any more fire arrows other than that. Open this door, switch to our rapier, sneak up and backstab this enemy. That will lure out another enemy through the door. So we're going to switch to our bow. Ready an arrow. Wait for him. Boom, boom. There we go. Next, we're going to snipe an archer out on the bridge there. There he is. Just double tap with lightning arrows. Magic arrows would do about the same damage to these guys, but lightning arrows have more range. So we're just going to stick with the lightning. Snipe this guy in the distance as well. Double tap with lightning. Boom, boom. And now Forlorn can invade right through here. And remember, we cannot homeward out here. We don't even have homeward in 2 anymore. Even if we did, we cannot homeward out because then we'd have to deal with Dennis. And that's very bad. So we're going to check for Forlorn. If we do get a Forlorn, looks like we didn't, but we can kite him pretty easily. Just take some pot shots at him as he approaches, fall back, lure him down here. Just keep kiting him, shooting him, and then we can kite him in the loop up here, around the stairs, back around this way. We can just kite him in the circle here as long as it takes. So Forlorn is not too dangerous, thankfully, in this area. Moving on, we're going to step up to about even with this second thing, and that should lure out some enemies. Yep, there's one. I'll shoot him when he drops down here. Keep in mind that they don't run in a perfectly straight line here. Kind of angle to the side, like that. And we'll lure out the second one as well. Kill these 2 guys. Then we'll go even with this other thing here. 3 magic arrows into the archer knight. Those guys are weak to magic, so we want magic for them. And that should kill him before he gets a shot off. Next, we'll do the same thing with the other archer in the corner. 3 magic arrows. If you're too far away, the 3 arrows will not kill. We need to do at least, I think it's like 280 damage or so. But yeah, that's plenty. He's dead. Then we'll knock down this dude. Finish him off. And his friend as well. Snipe them before we lower the bridge. Right now there are 2 more enemies in the corner over here. We want to take them out before they become a problem. Snowing makes it pretty easy. And now there's just 1 more archer in the corner back here. This shot is kind of tricky. It's like he can't fight back, so it's totally safe with as many tries as it takes. But finding the right angle to get his shoulder here can be very tricky. His shoulder is the easiest spot to hit. There it is. It's a pretty tight angle, but we can get him. And down he goes. And that's it. Now we just have to deal with Smelter. So for Smelter, we're going to switch to the Leo ring, because this is a bow-only fight. We could poke him a bit with the rapier at the start for some easy damage, but I do not recommend, because then you have to deal with his behavior in melee, which is a little different. It's really not worth trying to learn. I strongly recommend just learning the bow-only fight. Just keep the range. It really simplifies things. For Smelter, we're going to want either dark or magic arrows. We have some extra dark, so I'll go with dark, and poison. So we're going to want fun pies for Winnie buffs. We can inflict an easy toxic. Okay. And I guess we can buff Sacred Oath. We don't need to equip and repair to cast it now, which is convenient. Okay. Fun pies ready. Here we go. Smelter is not too tough. Don't worry too much about his aura, and you should be okay. Now, the scariest thing about Smelter is this. He buffs his aura, and now we can't get too close to him. So it's easy to get a little nervous about that, but it really doesn't have much range. As long as we stay away, just keep cutting away, it should be okay. Just don't get stuck up against the wall. That's the most dangerous thing here. Keep poisoning him whenever he's not poisoned. Pay attention to his audio cues, that kind of tells you when to roll. Which is also good practice with Blue Smelter. Almost done. Watch out for an explosion there. He sometimes will do that after the jump. But yeah, that's it. Not really that hard of a fight. Shouldn't have to worry too much about Smelter. Poison and toxic are very effective here. Alright, and that's it for this split. We're just going to light the bonfire, but do not rest. We do not want to respawn all the enemies up ahead. If you do respawn all the enemies, then you'll have to bring Homeward or Forlorn. We'll talk more about that in the next split. For now, we are clear.